This is a motherboard of an Xbox One. Now, I recently got a lot of Xbox Ones that were in just. They were in a shape, I'll say. They were very dirty. So, instead of me sort of recording a video just saying, oh my god, this thing is dirty, I need to take this thing apart ASAP and get everything soaked in hot soapy water to clean them, I just bulk disassembled all five of them at once. I have a pile of the studs over here off screen from that connect the two shell pieces together with the frame. And I just mass disassembled everything, just gave everything a very broad stroke cleaning. So now it's just sort of looking over this motherboard again, grabbing any spots I think need additional TLC, and then I want to put it together to test. Now the actual shell housing needs some more work. I mean, this is a glossy shell piece. I think they come out of the factory scratched and damaged. That's just kind of what glossy shells do. There's some dirt and grime still in these fins, so I'll have to manually clean those. But to get the bulk of the stuff off, hot soapy water did a darn fine job. Made the water look like tea afterwards. That's not always a disgusting. So is this the motherboard that had like liquid damage on it? I don't remember. One of them had like something was spilt on one like the corner of the metal shell. It didn't rust, but it left like residue. Ooh, there's a goober. But this motherboard turned out pretty good. Oh yeah, it was this one. It was down here. I ended up having to scratch away, or just some of the solder mask was flaking off. This is all ground plane, so it doesn't matter. And I noted from initial testing of this console where I booted it up just for a little bit just to kind of see what was wrong with it. It needed a new hard drive. The hard drive in it was dead. And though the disk drive worked, it would read the disk, which in this case was Ghost Recon Wildlands. It would begin installing it, but then it would stop about a gigabyte or so in. So I'm guessing what, if I understand the installation procedure, is it'll read all the data off the disk first, and then download any additional packages off the internet. So if it's unable to read all the packages off the disk, there was something wrong. So I tried cleaning the laser, but that's sort of a bit unknown. I might have to disassemble those disk drives a little more, but I mean, the last time I disassembled a disk drive and put it back together, though I put it back together the way I took it apart, it didn't work. So I'm not sure what to do about that, per se. But I do want to get this thing together. Now, I have to remember. Well, it's a combination of remembering and looking up an iFixit guide, how to put this thing back together and do just a simple test. I'm gonna get an iFixit guide just so that I know where to put stuff. I did label screws, where screws went. Like, and when I say I like mass disassembled, I mass disassembled. I just have a pillbox full of like 4 different consoles worth of screws. And some of those Xboxes had some interesting problems. There was one that would chime on, then chime off, without really showing a sign of life. So I'm really curious as to like what exactly would cause that. Okay, let's get down to the fan. So I do want to goober on some thermal paste. I think this fan turned out really good. It was packed, let me tell you. Now, is this the one with the fan connector or the fan that I broke? So yeah, this is the one where I snapped the little clip. It just completely snapped. And I mean, it should be fine. I mean, 3 mounting points for the fan should be more than enough. That's just a bit annoying. I know that's never going to be as strong, so I'm going to have to be careful because it's probably going to break off again. let me fart on some thermal paste and get this X clamp back on. I need to see how this fan is or not the fan, but the heatsink, because there's kind of a way that this heatsink fits in. So it's pointed. I'm using the ports as relative position. I think it's pointed like this. It's in a... Yeah, because I think that's the front panel connector, what I see on this iFixit guide. It is. So it's pointed towards the front panel connector, which is this plug up here. So it sits like that. Let me get some thermal paste on. I have some MX4 that's been very good to me, but I'm starting to run out. Ooh, I want to be careful not to get this stuff everywhere. This will be the best thermal performance this thing has had in probably half a decade. This thing has even been running half a decade. It's probably been sitting forever. That's why it's been acquired such a generous amount of dust. Like, and a lot of it was just like dust. It wasn't like water damage, with the exception of this one. This one had a little bit of liquid damage, but a lot of it was just dust has been sitting in it, accumulating, sitting on a shelf or whatever. And I need to know how the X clamp is oriented. I don't think they're going to show me how to get the X clamp off, so I might have to reference a old video of mine. Well, okay, here's a motherboard. iFixit. X clamp orientation right here. It's pointed towards... I see the cluster of capacitors. It looks like it's pointing that way. There's this little like oval symbol in it. I have my X-clamp removal tool, which is a godsend. For like a couple dollar piece of metal, it's been very handy. Because trying to jam screwdrivers in this to open it up is just a scary prospect. Alright, that's on there. I need to see how the fan is oriented. Okay, it's pointed towards the plug. Just plug's right there. So it goes on like this. So I'm gonna have to be very careful. This is gonna be a lot of stress on that connector. I don't want to be the one that bends it, so I need to kind of rock it on. Thankfully, this fan will probably never need to come back off. So as long as that clip stays on point, it should be okay. I should just be able to clip this on. Should have probably done this before I put the heatsink on, but, I mean, this is going to be a lot of stress on that clip anyway, if it doesn't just fold off. Yeah, it's already just failing. Well, it was worth a shot. There's only so much UV and super glue can do against that type of stress. So I'll have to make note of that. There we go. Again, 3 mounting points is so much already. Alright. That plugged in. Now let's see. I can actually go to... so let's see. So I can put it in its metal housing. These metal pieces cleaned up pretty good. Just double checking it with a Q-tip, seeing if there's any goobers I missed. But it looks good. Yeah, this one had the liquid damage in the corner. You can kind of see it kind of sort of wore away at the, I don't know what you would call it, the coating of it. No rust, thankfully, so I lucked out there. I'm gonna do this in my lap. There we go. Then I need to flip this over. I need to put in the 4 X-clamp screws. I have a sort of cheat sheet. My X-clamp screws are Wednesday. What size are they? T9? T9? I don't know where you get a... I don't even know if my kit has a T9. Let me check. I certainly didn't disassemble them with a T9. Oh, right here. T9. Perfect. Yeah, good call. Somewhat. It fits in there pretty good. I'm working on a Xbox One X. Currently downloading Gears of War 5 to run a benchmark. Let it stress test for a couple hours and see kind of how the thermals behave with a thermal phase change thermal pad I put in it. Didn't quite... I think I underestimated what an SSD performance would be, so I'm gonna see if my local recycler has some... Maybe they have some 500 gigs. I might have to settle for 250. I'd really hate to put a 250 SSD in this, but if that's my only option, that isn't hundreds of dollars, that might be my only choice. And I'll see how kind of the performance is compared to the spinning drive. If the spinning drive is just that significantly slower, especially a 2 terabyte might have to cache, or it does some sort of like pre-operation before you can access it. That just adds to the boot time. And boot time, just getting to the dashboard, if it's too slow, it's just agonizing. Reminds me of the new 3DS, where you're just waiting on a black screen, like, maybe one of these days it will initialize. Or maybe not. So Tuesday is the B4 screws. These are the, I guess these are these port screws on the periphery. These are T10s. Guess I'm not gonna... This is, again, a very difficult thing for my setup to film. It's bigger than my desk. Right down there on the corner, you can see another... That's another Xbox One disassembled. Same story, just super dirty. But that one actually functions. I didn't test the disk drive, I just know it reads a disk, so it might have the same problem this one does. Where it will see the disk, it'll start reading the disk, but fail a little ways in. Sort of push up the motherboard to get this one in. And realistically, I could just like fit test everything. I don't exactly need to go through the entire assembly process. I do have to kind of work on that shell. I may even swap that shell piece out. I think shell kits are still a little too expensive. Probably like 50 bucks or something. I haven't looked into it though. I need to put in the posts. Oh, I need to go find them. So there is a screw for Thursday. Okay. This one goes into this white screw post. Okay, clipped. So they want me to put on the front panel next. Front panel is Monday. I need 3 of these. May need to go grab that hard drive caddy. Yeah, I must have washed it. I just didn't include it. Need to go grab it. I did grab the bracket for the disk drive, I think it was. Put that right here. Okay, that's on. Next is the disk drive, which does have this piece on the back. Looks like this is a little bit dusty. I'm just going to hit it with a brush. The dust that survived being completely immersed in soap and water. Kudos. These are the kinds of pieces I should have just sent through the dishwasher. They're just plastic. Now it's label side up, and it sort of clips in. There we go. It should sit in here after I plug it in. I had to kind of blind clean the laser because I can't... When you disassemble this drive, it's upside down. I didn't see any obvious means of disassembling it further. So I just sort of shrugged and just said, well, you know what, it's probably good enough. We'll see. If it still has problems downloading a game, then I'll have to look into it further. Go in to disassemble it, or maybe even just swap the drive out. So I do have, like, the console that chimes on and off. It doesn't really need a disk drive right now. I just have to harvest the motherboard off of it. Because that disk drive, like, especially on dead consoles, it's more likely that disk drive is good. Little extra dust hanging on for dear life. Okay. And next is the hard drive. Now I need to put it back in its caddy. It also has a little bit of dust on it. But I'll tell you, this is infinitely better than what it was. Hard drive, so I think it goes like this because there's two holes for the connector to recess in. And hard drive screws are Friday. There's a lot of them. Okay, we're getting somewhere. I mean, I'm good enough to test. What I need to do is just put in the Wi-Fi and the chime, so I know kind of what the console's doing. I'll just plug the card into the... How did this go again? I think it went... Well, the screw hole's lined up, so it had to have gone... It's either one way or the other way. There we go. Okay. That only goes in one way. Okay. I do have a front panel. I actually don't know if this one works. I also put this into soapy water, which shouldn't, if I understand sort of this type of touch-sensitive technology, it shouldn't matter. I dried it off super good, so there was no lingering water on it for a time. Let me get a good power supply plugged in and get my capture card HDMI in. Looks like I need to dust this rear port panel a little better. Oh, let me not plug it in before I get the front panel on. I know there were a couple of these front boards that didn't respond to touch. They could just be filthy, maybe, perhaps. I don't really think these things... Well, it wouldn't surprise me if these things go bad, per se, but... Going bad is never a good explanation for me. It's like, well, what does that mean? What does bad mean? Fan twitched a little. That's always a good sign. Power. Chimed. The LED, or the little LED is on. I won't be able to show it. Fan isn't making noises. That's a good sign. Swap inputs. Should automatically grab the source. And it's coming up on my capture card. I'm gonna wait until it doesn't flash my personal information to show it. But I mean, there it is right there. So I know it works. I did test it. I swapped out the hard drive, so I know that's all in good shape. Let me get a controller synced to it while it's doing this. I actually might not be able to. See if it will allow me to. Yes, it will. Okay, it shows my profile. Very proudly and confidently. Has my name attached to it. We are on the dashboard. So I'm gonna get a game, or the game, which is Ghost Recon Wildlands. Now this disc came with an Xbox, and I mean, it's not in perfect shape, but it should be it should be more than enough. I'm trying to find the words for it. It's in good enough shape that it shouldn't have any problems. A quick wipe with a microfiber cloth. Like, there's no damage to the disc. Nothing that I would be like, oh, that's why it doesn't read. So, I don't know what it's gonna do. Put the disc in. Sounds good. I see the eject button appeared on the bottom right. It's not showing up here. Let me clip that off real fast. So there it is. It's showing up again on my dashboard. I'll try and see if I can install it. Okay, it is installing. Let me go to my games and watch the install. So this is where it struggled. It would get about half a gig in, maybe? Or maybe not even that far. Oh, so it just completely abandoned the disk install and it's going straight to network. I don't know if it can just rely on the network to do this. So I need to think of a good offline test for the disk drive that forces it to say like, hey, you need to use the disk drive exclusively. Let me physically let me physically unplug the network. So I'm going to pause that. I'll physically unplug the network card so it's like offline only. The console should boot without this, I guess. Good experiment time. I might not be able to play Ghost Recon Wildlands without well, I won't be able to play it without an internet connection. I think this is one of these Ubisoft games where I need to have an internet to even play the darn thing, so. Yeah, it's booting. I'll let it boot. I'm gonna see if I can find a sacrificial game. Well, I did have Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but I don't remember what Xbox that ended up living in. So I'll grab Assassin's Creed Unity. Alright, it's letting me sign in. Oh. Yeah, that's a problem. I don't know if that Wi-Fi card might handle Bluetooth connections. Let's see if I can hook this thing up wired. Or I might just put a Pro controller in it for now. Where's my USB-C cable? Here it is. Borrow this USB port. Alright. Elite Series connects just fine. I think I called it a Pro controller. Too much Xbox. Or too much Nintendo. I'm on the dashboard. Let me plug in Unity. The little tiny, like, dust protector for the disk drive feels awful. Very stiff. You can just hear the fibers, like, passing by the disk when I push it in. Assassin's Creed Unity does come up. I'll see what it wants to do, if it'll allow me to even play it offline. Now, this just might be an Xbox One thing. If it won't even allow me to launch it, it could just be like, this needs an internet connection, period. It doesn't matter how good your disk drive is. Because I am clicking on it and nothing's coming up. Or it's not allowing me to launch it. So I may just have to play some, like, disc, musical chairs to find which one will work without an internet connection. Oh. Installation started as soon as I yanked it out. Alright. What's interesting is the icon for the game isn't coming up. I'll show that here. But I want to watch the disk-based install. This is by no means like a counterfeit copy of Unity. But this could tell me this disk drive still has issues. Whatever it is. Maybe the laser is still a little dirty. I never actually got around to cleaning it when I tried. But right now it's just kind of stuck. But again, this could just be an Xbox One thing where it's like, it's searching for maybe install packets on the network. Maybe like some type of credential or like telemetry or something, like title IDs maybe, I don't know. What's weird is it recognizes it as Assassin's Creed Unity, but there's no box art. I find that to be kind of damning. And it's not even trying to install it. Let me try and launch it again. Maybe because I ripped it out, it's having a hard time. It says it's installing. But I don't believe it. So I'm gonna look for another game. Oops, accidentally turned it off as well. Okay, thankfully that little like fiber filter isn't scratching discs. It's a little too fine or a little too soft for that. I mean, what game can I try? I have the Spyro Reignited trilogy. I don't see a reason why I would need to be online for this. None whatsoever. Oh, right. Powering on, I had quick sign in, so it signed in real quick. Let's put in Spyro Reignited trilogy. And the disk drive sounds good. I mean, I don't know how much I can actually rely on audible cues. There. This one actually popped up with the box art. I'll show that. Okay, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. So let me see what it does. Can it read the disk off the data off the disk and install it? Disk is it spins up, going pretty quick. So I think a good test would be, can it install Spyro Reignited Trilogy and boot? I mean, 36 gigs is gonna take a shitload of time. So what I might do is just let it do its thing. I'm not gonna sit here and babysit it for 36 gigs. If it finishes, it finishes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that will be a good test to say, like, yeah, this drive's good. I mean, 3 hours and 30 minutes. Yeah. So far, so good. I'm very pleased with how this Xbox turned out, aside from the outer cosmetic pieces. But I mean, the problem with glossy plastic is it looks great on the store shelf. That's about it. Once you get it home and you dare touch it, it just starts scratching. And they did release a matte version of the Xbox One, which I liked much better, but I just have to sell it as just like, yeah, this thing looks awful, but it plays great. There's nothing wrong with it as a system. If you want to sticker bomb it to cover up all the crap, be my guest. But so far, so good. So I shall leave it at that. Well, I'll mute that. I have good news and bad news. Good news is, well, I'm playing Spyro. The bad news is the installation stopped, just kind of abruptly, about 90% through. I don't know if that's a problem. So let me go and see if there's anything, if it's queuing the rest of the download. It isn't. The only queue in there is the Assassin's Creed Unity that failed, so I wanted to try another disc. Because, I mean, it's obviously playing Spyro. I'm not gonna, like, clear the entire game, but it did get to... it played the game. I mean, and then it also installed it. So that does say that the disk drive is mostly functional. It's stopping most of the way through is a little concerning, so I'm gonna grab another game. I think I might try the Master Chief Collection. Actually, I think I said that last time. I think the Master Chief Collection is in my other Xbox, which I can go grab real quick. Okay, Halo Master Chief Collection. Let's slot it in and see what happens. So here on my queue, because I'm guessing it's going to want to start a download. This did not really scale correctly. I don't know why this feed out of my capture card looks bad, but installing. Let me try and configure the video. Is it forcing a... Oh, capture card just crashed. Yeah, this is not Xbox side, this is capture card side. There it is. I don't know why my screen is so smushed. This is like a capture card OBS issue. Let me just try and fiddle with it while... Okay, there it is again. Still kind of like smushed. I don't know why it's in like 4:3 resolution. But it sees the disk and it's downloading off the disk again. So what I'm gonna do, I'll spend some time. I'll fix this source. I don't know why OBS is doing this, but I'll let this go. I'm gonna record this footage, but I'll snip it down all the way until either the disk fails or something. If something doesn't happen, or if I can clearly install the entirety of the Master Chief Collection, I am leaning towards the side of this is just an Xbox One weirdness. Like why Unity was having such a problem. I can try it again. Maybe it does need, since this console was connected to the network, maybe there's just some weird like interaction between a console that was online, then offline, and now trying to read Assassin's Creed Unity. It's like, no, I need online credentials or something that's not important. So if it can install and play 2 games, I mean, I could try one more after this. I could try like GTA 5 or something. I'll probably have to delete stuff because I'm gonna be running into hard drive issues, but that is good enough for me to say this console is good. At worst, the worst thing I can think of is maybe the laser is starting to die, but I mean, if it can install and play games, yeah, I don't know. So I'll leave it like this. Just see if anything happens during this install so I can catch it. Well, I just checked the footage and it looks like it installed Master Chief Collection just fine. I watched it all the way. I stepped out to go eat dinner, so I came back and checked the install and it looks like it completed fully. I mean, I'll launch it, but all the 43 gigs downloaded just fine. I do want to do one more game. I need to make absolute certainty that there's nothing wrong with the disk drive, because I can't, with all honesty, say that there isn't still some outstanding problem. So I mean, I'll let this boot. I might load up something on Halo 1, because I mean, that is the best Halo game. Not the anniversary edition though. Ugh. Oh, okay. Can't say I remember how to change it back to normal. Or have it auto default to normal graphics on the normal graphics and the original audio from Halo 1, not the remastered. Or not the. Yeah, remastered, I guess, is more the correct term. Ugh. Since this isn't Halo 2, I don't think I can swap mid cutscene unless they sort of locked it behind an update. Okay, cool. There we go, that looks better. Sorry for the quick thaw, Master Chief. I mean, look at this. I'm playing Halo 1. Eventually. I don't want to go through this tutorial. I should have probably started on another mission. And not the very first mission. I think it gave me the option of starting pretty much any mission on Halo 1. I don't know why I decided to do the first one. Force a habit, perhaps. Yeah, here we go. The Silent Cartographer. Do a classic. You know what? 343 Industries is actually coming out with a remake of Halo 1, and I am a little hesitant, but I am excited. Oh, controller vibrates on. Ah, that looks better. I mean, this is Halo 1, so I'm gonna get another game going and see where... There we go, quick aim. I think I might do Monster Hunter World. That's another kind of massive game that I decided to do. So I'll kind of do the same thing. I'll just let it install and just watch the install. The Monster Hunter World. It is starting and stopping. The disk drive was starting, stopping, starting, stopping. Now it looks like it's not reading it. Take it out and put it back in. This disc should be fine. But maybe this is a pretty clear sign that this laser maybe is failing. I mean, this disc is functionally perfect. Try it one more time. Or, again, this could just be a network connectivity thing where it's like... Which wouldn't make too much sense, but for it to install the Master Chief Collection just fine and not this game is just so strange. Yeah, it doesn't look like it wants to do... It wants to install Monster Hunter World. Let me grab GTA 5. It sounds like it's reading it just fine. There it is. I mean, this is going to be another big install, probably. or 42 gigs. Okay, I guess I'll leave this here and just see what it does. See if it gets through the install. And I'll have to sort of mull on it for a little bit and see. Maybe it's just the way that Monster Hunter Worlds... Maybe it's just a bigger disc, a more compact disc, and the laser can't penetrate the layers as easily as it can, maybe GTA 5 and the Master Chief Collection, which... I don't know. Yeah, I might have to do some research, but I'll let this go and just see what it does. I mean, it just stopped. Let's see what happens. Are you going to continue, or... Oh, there it goes. Okay, yeah, I'll let it sit. So I was able to get GTA 5 to install, but it was painfully slow. Like, I'm talking 5-6 hours I let it run. I even moved it off to my TV tray off to the side so I could still use my mat while I waited for it to install. It installed without a hitch, but that amount of time really is suspect. I never actually tried to see if this thing will launch. I'm pretty sure it won't have a problem. So that really points to either the spindle motor or the laser assembly is just pooped. Or it's starting to go bad. So yeah, it looks like it's loading this game just fine in the aggressively long time it takes to boot GTA 5. Let's turn that off. And so what I want to do is... I do have a disk drive of the same model from just a completely dead system. That system just chimes on, chimes off. That's it. Something I can look into more, but right now, its disk drive is, well, useless. The thing doesn't turn on. I don't know if this disk drive's even good, if I can even harvest the laser from it, but it is sort of the prime candidate for a replacement right now. And if I find the need to get more... If I need to buy some laser assemblies to replace the ones that are getting weak in these consoles, then I can, but now it's just more proving a fault. So I did open this just to kind of scope out the competition, so to speak, so I knew kind of what I was getting into. And getting into is definitely a good way to put it. This is not going to be trivial. I wish they would make the consumable parts a little easier to get to. But these are not meant to be taken apart. Now, it doesn't exactly slide out super easily. It takes a little bit of finagling. There we go. So we have... I'm just going to get some, like, kind of close-up shots of everything, just in case I really have to take this thing apart. The mechanisms in which pull discs in and out isn't having the problem, but this really does depend on how deep I need to go to get to the different components. So, like, the entire laser assembly is right here, but how much do I actually have to take off? And some of these screws are glued in. So they're screwed in at a certain depth, I suppose, or down to like a certain torque. Like you can just see all of the threads exposed on this screw. It's just basically holding down this rail. So the interesting thing will be finding out if I can remove this sort of assembly right here. This is the laser, that's spindle motor, without sort of having to take this entire thing apart. This has a lot of hair in it. But the drive itself is not that concerning to me. What I could do is almost just swap out the motherboards. Swap this out for the other one. All I have to do is desolder these two, unplug these various ribbon connectors. I might need to get this motherboard out of the way, so I'm just going to start by doing that. I won't desolder that quite yet. I just kind of want to see what lies underneath here. If it's like, oh, laser assembly and spindle motor are easy to get. Or, oh, the laser assembly and spindle motor are not easy to get. Peeling back the layers, so to speak. Oh, and the spindle motor is really easy to get. Yeah, it's just right here. The laser assembly, I really don't like how these rails are held on, so I'm wondering if this first rail has to somehow come off. Or maybe it doesn't. So, I've learned from disk drives that I need to mark when I'm unscrewing things, especially related to the motor and the laser. I need to be very careful at how much I unscrew them. So I'm going to mark these and count the turns as I unscrew them. Do want to get these screws sort of put away as I'm doing this. One, two, three, four. About 3 or 4. One, two, three. Yeah, I would maybe say 4 is probably a good... 1, 2, 3. It's like 3.5. Oh, it's actually a full 4. Or like 3 3/4-ish. This isn't exactly rocket science, because I can't torque these down. So that's the spindle motor. Okay. It's soldered into this. Oh, God. How do I... Is it soldered, or is it... Oh, it's like a friction cable. Okay. I'm like, it has screws coming up from underneath it, so I would have to remove a lot more assembly. Pliers? Or tweezers? It's stuck to the board right down there. Well, let me not remove this. Okay, and the laser ray or the laser assembly is a lot looser. Oh. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so here's the laser assembly. So it just like pushed in. There's these little nubs. And it just sort of rests in there, and then this rail doesn't actually like connect. Okay, very interesting. Yeah, it just sits in like that. Okay. Here I was expecting this to be a whole hell of a lot more complicated, but... So I should start with the laser assembly. I'm just going to bring everything. Now, since I have it sort of exposed like this, I'll actually clean it off. Dribble some rubbing alcohol on a Q-tip. And I'm hoping that since I'm taking this out of an Xbox that doesn't turn on, it could have been like that for a while. So this laser assembly could have much less hours on it, so to speak, or for lack of a better term. Grabbing the other disk drive. This is from the Xbox. I just need to make sure I keep parts separate. And then what I want to do is go back to trying the two games I was having a problem with. Ghost Recon Wildlands and Monster Hunter Wild. World, not Wild. If it still has problems with those games, I mean, I can't rule out that that's not also a bad laser. And I don't exactly enjoy the idea of mutilating good laser, so just take it one step at a time here. Because I'm not exactly convinced it's just a dirty laser. It doesn't exactly line up. For it to completely install some discs but not others, that doesn't necessarily line up with what I understand. If it were dirty, I wouldn't think it would read anything. It's like these clips up here you gotta kind of pop off. There it goes. Oh, it's because some of this foam is stuck to it. That kind of explains it. So, to get to the laser, I need to undo the main board. These use black screws. Oh, these are the same model. I guess just on the production line they swapped screws halfway through. And sort of the sucky thing about using unknown condition parts is whether or not they're actually good. I'll mark these screws again. One, two, three, four. It's about the same amount of turns. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll just keep that in mind. spindle motor comes out. Oh, I never took out GTA 5. Whoopsie. I mean, it's just gonna have to chill in there. Okay, that is the old laser. With the old, and with the also probably old. But hopefully slightly newer. Trying to be careful. I didn't exactly intend on leaving GTA 5 in there, but that's just kind of what happened. It looks like the spindle motor grabbed it again. Oh, where'd that goober come from? There we go. Probably from the old laser. So now I'm going to make the bold assumption that the mounting pressure does not matter on the spindle motor, but 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like I can, as long as I have the holes lined, or as long as I have the dots lined up, I can just go snug. And that will return me back to my main point for the original mark. There we go. Because I think it was on the, I want to say Nintendo Wii U disk drive that the mounting pressure mattered because the spindle motor was kind of held on by like springs. Probably to just sort of help it stabilize. Try and mitigate some vibrations. But they were on like shocks almost. So it was rather important that I tensioned everything right. There we go. And main board, doesn't matter, just cinch those suckers down. I'm excited to see if this will work. Mainly because then if I can source those lasers, I can just swap them out on pretty much everything, because that was really easy. Like, I would say any dummy could do that. Okay, let me get it back in its assembly. Get it cinched, or get it screwed down, and then give it a test shot. See what happens. I'm pushing up against something. Oh, I think maybe because this isn't latching up here. Okay, that looks better. I think it was just pushing the plastic down instead of allowing it to sort of skip over and latch. So the laser assembly makes the most sense to me. But I feel like I really wish they would have built in some error codes for that. Like, yeah, your spindle motor's going bad, or laser can't penetrate the deep layers of the Blu-ray disc. Request service. But that would be consumer-facing policies. Don't want to have our consumer-friendly policies. You don't want that. That's just ridiculous. Because the laser going bad in a disk drive is nothing new. It's been a problem ever since disk drives became part of consoles. Put it in its bracket again. Getting it plugged in. Okay, batteries to power. While this powers on, I'm gonna go grab those two games. Monster Hunter World and Ghost Recon Wildlands is just loose. So because I don't want it to flash my account information, which includes my email and legal name, I'm going to leave it off the capture card for a second. Let it boot. I still don't have my console plugged in the Wi-Fi. I still have that card removed, so I need to connect my controller in manually. All right. I'm going to very carefully eject my game. Maybe GTA 5, put it away. Now I can show my capture device. There we go. I'm going to start with Ghost Recon. I think it was also Assassin's Creed Unity I wanted to try. Yeah, it's recognizing it. Let's go down to... Yeah, it was Assassin's Creed Unity that didn't show the art. But I remembered Ghost Recon Wildlands kind of failing right at the beginning, so I might let it go for a gig or two and just see kind of how it behaves. I hear the disk drive going. There it goes. So here's Unity. Unity was a weird one because it didn't have a box art when I put it in. So maybe like the initial like metadata layers of the disk were deeper than other disks. And I did say I was going to let this go for a couple gigs. I'm not going to do that because I don't like waiting around. So I'm going to eject it. Cancel. Clear queue. Unity is one I'm really interested in trying out. See if the metadata pops up. Because then it could just have been a laser. Okay, popped it in. if I remember correctly, it just never read Monster Hunter Worlds. There's Unity right there. I'll let it install another like half gig. Kind of like what I just did for Wildlands and see if anything changes. Yeah, look at that. So I think it was the laser. Like, that's some pretty convincing evidence, if I do say so myself. I might let a couple of these games install. I'm not gonna record that because that is miserable. I don't like overheating my poor phone that I use as a camera, and I really have no reason to monitor this unless something fails. Like, I could keep it up on this screen over here. Yeah, it's very quickly installing half gig. So, okay, cool. The final boss is Monster Hunter World, apparently. If it reads the metadata from it correctly, then I think that's a pretty sure sign that it was the laser assembly that just needed to be replaced. I do need to do something about that, like, that like dust comb in front of the disk drive. Ooh, it is still having a hard time reading Monster Hunter World. I hear it. I wonder if there's something wrong with my disk. I don't think there is. I don't know where like the metadata lives on these disks, if it's on like the outer ring. I mean, there is some marks, but nothing that should inhibit its ability to read. Meaning I may be celebrating a little too soon. Let's try it again. That sounds better. That sounds a lot better. There it is. So, I mean, that could have entirely have been just a disk was dirty. It doesn't sound fantastic, the disk drive, but it's also because the console isn't fully together. Like, it's making a pretty horrible like vibration buzz, but I won't be able to determine if that's an actual fault until I get everything screwed in, because right now it's just kind of floating. But I guess will it actually install the disk? You know, I guess while I wait, just to keep this laser protected, just in case on the off chance, maybe it just needed a cleaning, and it's otherwise fine. Because I do want to test, but if I do come up with the same sort of results, like this disk drive is still having, or this disk drive's having a problem, then that's pretty damning evidence. I'll just leave a note inside this disk drive, or on this disk drive, that's like, hey, swap the laser, verify that fault was laser. But I tell you what, these disk drives are so much easier to service. Oh. That one didn't exactly line up with my dot, but I'm fairly confident these don't need to be torqued down like the Wii U disk drives, so I can just freeball these in and it'll be okay. I mean, it's definitely not reading this disk faster than my other console or my other discs, but it is reading it. I think that's kind of all that matters. Monster Hunter World might be the one I leave on. Um, I sort of leave on and just see if it will install. So once I get this back together, I'll just call this good. And then if Monster Hunter World downloads okay, and I mean, in so much that I can test, like the fact that maybe a dying laser was able to install 3 games, but a good laser is able to, or it also failed to read a few games. So that's a pretty good sign that just something's wrong. So I might have to get together some of my games and see, like, maybe this drive can serve as, like, a control of sorts. Or I guess it would be more the experimental group, because a control would imply that it's an otherwise working shape. But the experimental would be if this disk drive knows of a couple disks that it can't read. If there's like several disks it just simply can't read, no matter how clean or dirty the disks are, then that would imply that a good disk drive should be able to read all those disks. Final screw hole. Final screw hole. Oh, it didn't look like it went right there, but that was the only spot it could go. Oh, I was like, what the hell is it caught on? It's just the SATA data cable sort of pushing it on it. Yeah, this one clipped over just fine. Perfect. So this will be on my dead Xbox. I don't know exactly what's wrong with it. I hope I can get it fixed. If it's like a corroded trace or something. Not a problem for right now, though. Because if I can turn 2 broken consoles into 1 working console, I think that's pretty darn amazing. That disk drive's making hell of a lot of noise, but I get, again, it's also not screwed in, so it's just vibrating on its screw posts, essentially. Once I get it cinched down, I'll have to test it again to see if that noise is still persistent, because not exactly an amazing noise. It was happening with GTA 5, too. I thought it was the fan, because I broke the clip off the fan, but no, it is most certainly the disk drive that's making it. Okay, I'm gonna leave a sticky note on this disk drive, because I'm not gonna remember. Just swapped laser. Laser wouldn't read MHW Unity. Okay. Monster Hunter World in Unity. Then I'll go slap this back in the corpse of that non-working console. I guess that's all I can do right now, so I'll wait until... If it clears Monster Hunter World, then I'll get the entire thing back together and I guess try and see if I can come up with any more tests that will sort of fully clear out the disk drive, even if it means just cycling through every disk I own and just seeing if it clears it. But waiting, what is that now, almost 2 hours to install a disk is just something I just have to leave in the background. And it installed Monster Hunter World without a problem. So I guess for now, I just have to say the disk drive's good. I'll I'll have to run more tests on it when it's all fully assembled, so I don't just have this disassembled console on a TV tray conveniently in my way at all times. But I mean, I really don't know if this is conclusive enough evidence to say that that everything's good. But I think for now, fine. I think for now I can say the laser is good enough to read the games that I fed it. It's good enough that it can read and install the games that I fed it. I'll have to do more testing. Maybe feed it a couple more games, see if it installs them. Maybe see if I can find a gnarly disk that's not in as good a shape and see if it will read it. And I mean, if it can read those discs, I have two of them. When I had a Halo 5 Xbox One that ate my Mass Effect Andromeda disc. Like really just put some good scratches in it. God, that console pissed me off almost more than Halo 5 did. And then I got a really crappy copy of, I think, Modern Warfare Infinite Warfare for basically dirt cheap, and it's dirt cheap because that disc is really chewed up as well. But yeah, I mean, this game runs fine. I'm not gonna go through the boot process. So I'll turn it off and actually get the thing together. So let me see what I need to do to actually do that. And hopefully I can solve whatever that weird... Like, it makes a hell of a vibration noise. But I think it's just because it's not together. I can't necessarily rate the noises it was making as bad until it's fully together. Let me grab it. Ugh. And this will again be a little unwieldy for my setup. So I thought the vibration was coming off the fan, because I did break this clip off the fan so it's not holding onto the heatsink. But as I was... Well, the only time I was hearing this noise is when the disk drive was installing something. And I mean, what exactly is the disk drive doing? Spinning, vibrating. So when I was sort of like putting my hands on places to try and get it to stop, when I put it on the corner of the fan, it did sort of lessen the vibration, but it's also me putting pressure down on pretty much everything. The motherboard, the outer, like, housing. So I'm gonna open up an Xbox One iFixit guide just to make sure that I put all the screws back where it needs to go. I'll just do the fan disassembly step. Well, actually, is there a better guide? Oh, there is a motherboard step. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, so let me turn it over. I think I got all the X-clamps screws in. I did not get the motherboard or the hard drive in. So let me see what I need for those. They do the front panel next, which I think I did the front panel. Yes, I did. All three of those screws. Everything is loose. Wait, does it just not even recess? Does it just sit in studs? Okay. I think that sounds correct. Because I have the hard drive in, so I need to put on the top metal shielding and get the lower plastic. I should probably attach this Wi-Fi piece right here. It'll be a lot easier for me to manipulate it right here than it would be later. So I do have notes on my piles of screws that I have. Wi-Fi is Sunday. They're all the same screws. I do have to find out what size they are. With all of my bits kind of skewing about over here. Probably a T8. Yes, it is. Oh, and I also should get the Wi-Fi card in and routed, because it's sort of held in by little tabs. So, which one? I know I removed one of them. Okay, it's this one. So they got these little metal tabs on the wire that I need to put back in. Not exactly like hyper necessary. It might be, I don't even think it's for grounding. I think it's just to hold them in place. They seem a little not super conductive enough to be for grounding purposes. Oh, I don't want to put the Wi-Fi card on yet because there's a stud that's hidden on it. Okay. Again, this is not exactly the best. I have it in my lap. I just need to fold these little tabs over. Okay, so now try and make this a little more. I should be able to put this on. I need to. I will just plug it in just to hold it, but I need to get the cable plugged into the board. And get this all nice and situated in. I need to be kind of careful around this metal housing. Mainly because I just don't want to disturb the foam. I don't want to like bunch it up. So I just got to be kind of careful smushing it back together. Then I'll set it in the lower housing and I should be able to put the studs in. Yes, I think this is good. Pop the little speaker back in. And according to iFixit, I should be able to put all these studs back in. They should be T10s, I think. Yes, a little too much play there. I have this upside down relative to the iFixit guide I'm using. But I should maybe double check my list. Front panel, B1 through 4, X clamp, the side white through, and then the HDD. Yep, I got them all. I just didn't want to fully assemble it before I actually committed to saying like, yeah, I got either I'm at a point where I don't know what to do with the disk drive, I'll put it aside, or I'm satisfied where I am with the disk drive, so I can put it away. Which I'm currently at the latter. Two more? I think I'm up to C7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I fixed it, says there's 8. Is there C8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, okay, they do have 8. Let me double check here. So according to them, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, C8, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I didn't count that one. C8. Sunday is the Wi-Fi card screws. Which is, I'm using the wrong size. I'm gonna get the front panel all plugged in. And my pour setup. I wish I had like a boom arm mounted to my ceiling, but I don't think I'm gonna go that crazy. I usually work on a lot smaller stuff than this. But I mean, expanding my horizons by working on something different, I think is only a net positive. Exposes me to problems that I wouldn't otherwise face. And I think that is all but necessary for growth. And on the topic, I mean, not on the topic of growth. So that top shell, the glossy bit, was just damaged. It looked awful. So what I did while I was waiting for installs is I decided to give polishing a try. And I mean, it doesn't look fantastic. It looks like it got sanded, which it did. But I hit it with 1,000 grit, 2,000 grit, and then a Novus 3-part polishing compound. It's never going to look like it did coming out the factory, but it is at least more uniform than it was. And I mean, I don't think it looks half bad, all things considered. So I didn't notice this front panel had this weird white stuff on it. See if it will come off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Yes, it will. This might be from the console that had paint on it. There we go. That's about as good as it will get. I mean, this console's not going to be in like the best shape anyway, but I want to make it look as good as it possibly can. the fun of getting this to fit back together. I hope that wasn't a plastic breaking noise. This does not. It's getting snagged on something over here. Why you be like this? Maybe one of these angles I'll find will work. I wouldn't think that the compatibility between different shell pieces, like is the front panel connector just different enough from whichever one I pulled it off of that it's creating this sort of tolerance issue? That'd be odd. I don't remember these things really being that tightly put together. But I know that if I don't lever on this front panel, it's not gonna sit in nicely. Oh no, I kind of clipped it in a little. I didn't want to do that. I got a lever in the front panel. Should just like settle in. Kind of like that. Gee whiz. Front panel is connected, as it should. I need to lever it on, but it's really not wanting to. You know what? I'll keep fucking with this. I'll get it eventually. It's just gonna take the right angle. But what I'll do for this Xbox is keep running discs on it, and just once I can confirm that the laser is good, then I can actually think of a test plan for this thing and hopefully find it a home.